Problem solving. Problem solving is using knowledge and skills to find solutions to real-life problems and finding answers to difficult questions. You do it all the time. Most of the time you don't even realise that you're doing it. The first step is to identify the problem, have a clear idea of the problem and develop some specific questions to help you solve it. Then you need to try some problem-solving strategies, and there are many different strategies for solving problems. It really depends on the type of problem that you're trying to solve, which will allow you to choose a different strategy to use. Thirdly, you need to evaluate that the solution has been effective. So you need to check that it fits the problem and it's the best solution for the situation you are in at the time. The most common problem-solving strategy that students use is to ask. You might ask a teacher, you might ask a fellow student, you might even do some research on the internet. But this is only useful if the solution already exists, and if the solution doesn't exist or you're not able to implement the suggested solution from the person or the internet that you have asked, you will need to use some other problem-solving strategies. So we're going to consider the problem that's posed by the inertia challenge. When we identify the problem, we're really looking at the idea of how is it possible for objects to drop into a container when there is something in the way. The first step to do when problem solving for this will be to brainstorm. Have a think about all the possible ways that you can remove that obstacle. When you've generated that list, you want to work through those possible ways in a logical manner, checking to see if each option is working and maybe tweaking them. And that's called trial and error. You might decide to use a bit of visual imagery where you can apply your scientific knowledge of forces and put arrows on the movement of the different parts in your challenge to work out what might need to happen to get to a solution. And a fourth option to use will be to self-explain. So look at the problem in front of you and talk through the individual steps that need to happen so that you're successful, and then you can look at each step in turn and decide which bit might need to be changed to make it successful. So by using these strategies over and over, you'll eventually develop a suitable technique that will allow you to solve the problem. Then you have to decide, is this effective? Does it work every time? Does it work with every person that tries this particular solution? So, to summarize, problem solving, we met 5 different strategies in this video. You could ask, you can brainstorm, you can use trial and error, visual imagery, or self-explain. And there are resources that are useful alongside those strategies, like expert knowledge, research, or technology. And here's a quick summary of some other ideas that may not be appropriate to this problem, but might be appropriate to other problems that you meet in the future.